Hi, and thank you so much for coming to the first Parallel Society Congress. DevCon 0 was roughly 30 to 40 people, and it is kind of an abstract concept and new concepts for many here. So it's great to have such a fantastic turnout. So I guess the intention with this event from today and in future events is to bring together the deepest thinkers we can find, as well as practitioners, in the creation of competitive governance and institutional design. And I'll be quite short and to the point. I can tend to waffle about political philosophy quite a bit, and I'll try to spare you from that a little. But really, there's kind of two. On one hand, this is a fantastic opportunity that I believe is coming to us. For the reasons outlined by the World Bank in a 2006 report called "Where is the Wealth of Nations?" And in that report, they discovered that actually in almost every country, it was rule of law or institutions that were the largest contributors to wealth for those countries, even beyond natural resource extraction. And this, coupled with what we know from institutional economics, that a mere 0.1% reduction in transaction costs can enable a country to quadruple its wealth. This is the difference between Switzerland and Argentina. This means, for me at least, that there is a huge opportunity ahead of us that could be potentially worth trillions of dollars of value and increase the quality of life of humans and lift millions out of poverty. But on the other hand, a lot has changed, certainly in OECD countries since the 1950s. Back in the 1950s, 90% of retail investors held stocks in corporations. As of 2009, that had dropped down to 2%, with institutional investors holding it. During that time, you had the reduction of civic participation and civil society. Since the 60s, it has dropped dramatically in terms of by roughly 30% today. This is a complete shift in how our societies function. There aren't the same kinds of social clubs, civic participations, trade unions, and so on. This notion of participatory democracy has basically gone in sway of party politics and consumer politics. So people tend to have political ideas intermediated by algorithms on big tech platforms. At the same time, post 9/11, we've seen the reduction of our civil liberties, of freedom of speech, of the right to associate, new forms of censorship, as well as atomization of the individual. Moreover, government debt, or the debt to GDP ratios, has starting to reach points in which potential, at least historically, those countries have collapsed. The National Intelligence Council and the Government Accountability Office have warned that this can enter into a debt spiral in which it'll be almost unsustainable, if not difficult to ever recover from. This applies not only to the US, but all developed and developing OECD countries, and we're likely to see that over the next 2 decades. Now, while these are challenges, they are also opportunities. There are potentials for us to experiment and come up with new ways of offering alternatives in governance, to create a sort of startup sector in the notions of governance. And so what will be represented by this event is what those governance structures will look like, to start having discussions about what the future may look like to create a better world. They'll range from homeowners associations to pop-up societies to special economic zones, perhaps even entirely new nation-states or proto-states. Furthermore, we're starting to see the rise of new orders, sovereign orders, enabled by new technologies such as blockchains. So with that in mind, I just wanted to thank you so much for coming, and I'm looking forward to building the future with you. Thank you.